So it's my great pleasure to introduce next Mr. James Dalton, who's our Director of Civil Works within the Army Corps of Engineers, for his remarks.
Thanks, Todd. When you asked me to come and speak, I didn't realize you were going to say everything I was going to say. As Todd said, that started out with why, Annapolis. I was feeling pretty good about the answer to that question until he just answered it the wrong way. The why was because, Todd would come to see me and talk about engineering with nature and, nature-based solutions, etc. And I would always ask him, I'd say, so what are the examples? Where are the examples? What are the kind of things that we were talking about? So when he came and said he had done the book, I thought it was in response to my question. Mr. Stockton's question maybe. But it's it is a great communications tool. I was once at I was telling a case here from the Netherlands that it was probably about 5 years ago. I was at a book signing, if you will, by hosted by Dalton, who is our equivalent, as you know, of Erdic. And I was on a panel, and one of the questions that was asked of the panel was, what do you think the most challenging engineering issue is in the future? And so lots of sort of high-tech technical responses. My response was communications, because we as engineers don't necessarily communicate that well or the best. And as Todd was saying, if you show the public a picture, or if you actually demonstrate what could be done, that is the best way to actually communicate with those that are, I'll say, non-engineers. And so to me, this book is a great tool to use to show what is in the realm of the possible, but it's just a start. 56 projects, there's probably, 4 or 5 times that many that we could talk about. For the Corps of Engineers, we can go back to the Mississippi River and Tributaries project that, make room, as the Duchess said, for the river. But it's actually engineering with nature as opposed to engineering against nature. And I think that's what we've learned over time. So to me, engineering with nature is just simply a smarter way to do engineering. As I look through that book, who would ever think that we would do something to create log jams? Why would we ever want to create a log jam? But one of the examples of one in the book is actually on the Libby Dam, that we starved that area downstream of the dam of nutrients to create the habitat that it once had. So now we're going back trying to recreate what nature would have had there in the first place. That's the case in many, many of our projects. The concrete channels, we were eliminating those so that we can actually have habitat and bring in those natural species. So for civil works, for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Civil Works, this fits right into what we should be about, what we've been trying to get after for several years. And that is, how do we actually manage the water resource projects smarter? So some of you have heard the term. It's not new, it's been around for a while. The Integrated Water Resource Management, IWRM, is something that Civil Works has been trying to implement for a long, long time. What it simply means is we should not be looking at projects by individual pieces of a project. And that's how we justified projects for many, many years, rather than looking at the whole system. I think engineering with nature and the examples in the book, Todd, are showing us that it's beyond just one specific project, one specific benefit. It has to do, as you said, with looking at the economic value, but also the social benefits, the environmental benefits that you can get from a project. And so this engineering with nature supports IWRM. It's the kind of thing that we are actually should be going to Congress and other places where we get funding with our stakeholders to show here's the total benefit that you get from this project. It's not just, build a levee and it holds back water. It's like, what's the other benefits that we get? And the challenge for all of us is trying to explain what that total value is. This book is a start in helping us to tell that story about what are those total benefits. Last thing I'll mention is what we've been trying to do in Civil Works is use risk-informed to help us make faster, better decisions. That doesn't always mean that we get it 100% right. And I think engineering with nature gives us an opportunity to say, let's try something based on the knowledge that we have, based on the engineering that we know about. And then beyond that point, we may go into an area of adaptive management. I think that's okay. We don't have to wait till we get everything exactly right before we move forward. I think we have examples, starting with the ones in the book, that will show us there are some things that we can use based on experience, but there are other things we could try based on what we've seen produced from the examples that we currently have. So from where I'm sitting, there's nothing but goodness that can come from this book. Even though, Todd, you didn't give me credit for publishing it, I'll take it right here and now. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you.